You guys, welcome to episode 46 of the Big Messy Bun. This one today is going to take you on a little bit of a journey, and I'm going to be sharing with you parts of my rebuild that have taken place over the last 5 years. And this is an area I do share about, but I don't think I've shared enough about it. So I share a lot on my social media about health and wellness and about movement and about eating pretty good and all that kind of stuff. And I do talk about mindset, but I don't think I've been clear enough on how much work it goes into retraining your brain to think differently, to create a different reality for yourself, and to really change your life. So I was chatting with a couple of friends over the last few weeks, and one of them was sharing with me just a situation that they're in and that they weren't really sure where their life was going in a certain area. I'm not going to get into great details of it, but this person just was feeling like they just felt blah. They wake up, they do life, but they're just not feeling like there's any zest for much more than that. And then another friend was like, you know what, I'm really comfortable. Like everything's really good, but I just feel like there's something missing. And so as I was talking to both of these different people, I was sharing with them how for me, when I had to start rebuilding my life, I had to rebuild my confidence muscle. Like I felt so low and so unworthy that it took me a long time. And I was sad, I was angry, I was frustrated, I was a lot of things. And so every single day I listened to various podcasts, some on self-love, some on responsibility, some on money, learning how to manage my finances, on longevity. Also, during the last 5 years, I've also had to learn about my health condition that I've I've had to get under. I've had to figure it out so that I could function and live and thrive. And then through that, of course, I've been deep diving into menopause. For those of you who have been following me, you know that. So, but I'm going to go back to when we look at confidence, it comes from. It can come from a lot of different areas, but something that I listened to on repeat back in 2021, I just re-listened to it again. It was a short little nugget of a podcast. It was like 14 minutes long, and I would listen to it on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. And the guy on the podcast talked about when we look at where we are in our lives, we all look at your life like a basket of ingredients, okay? Like you've got a basket of ingredients. This is your life, whether it's where you've come from, what you currently have, but this is your basket of ingredients. Then someone over here has a better basket of ingredients and they got all this great stuff. And you think that with your basket of ingredients that they're going to be a better chef than you because they've got better ingredients. But it's actually learning how to do the best that you can and get creative with what you have. So like taking stock on what you currently have, where you come from and where you want to get to and what your day-to-day currently looks like. So when I was back in 2021, trying to figure out my life, I couldn't compare and look and see what other people were doing my same age that had a whole different set of ingredients than what I had. I had to double down on the things I had and the things that I could take control of. And when it boiled down to at the very beginning of my rebuild, the only things I felt I had control over at the very onset were the basics. I talk about the basics a lot here on the podcast. So the basics that I doubled down on to make sure I was nailing these things. Because if you're not nailing your basic health needs, it's very hard to build up your mindset when your basic health needs are really in the toilet. It's kind of a back and forth thing, you guys. You've got to work on the brain and the body and the mind and your gut, all of these things at once. So my basics were and still are getting sleep, because that's when our brains wash at night. That's when we clear out the junk. That's when we can reset. And a good night's sleep always seems to make the next day better. It just does. So sleep, eating 80-20. I've talked about 80-20 a lot on this show. 80% of what I put in is pretty damn healthy. 20%, not so much. I've lived that. I double down when I'm going through a really challenging time. Moving and lifting. I move my body regularly and lift weights. Those are some of the things. During my rebuild and my current, like, I talk about my rebuild like as if it's done, but it's actually just a journey that's going to continue. So right now, though, I'm sharing with you kind of what I have done over the last 5 years. And it's spending time laughing. I was very grateful that my roomie at the time, Casper, made me laugh all the time, like so much laughter. I had good friends that made me laugh. I also made others laugh. And when you make them laugh, then you laugh. And it was really just a good feeling. But here's the part that I did so much of. And if any of you hung out with me or know me for the last while, and you like ever contacted me personally and you asked me, hey, what are you up to? Oh, I'm just listening to a podcast. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I just listened to this podcast. Oh, what are you doing? I just listened to a podcast. Like, I filled my brain with things that were going to help me rebuild and help me make sense of my situation and help me take responsibility for it and stop blaming. Because there's no sense blaming and just continually bitching about the ingredients I have in my life. And I had to figure out how I was going to become the best chef. And I know it sounds funny because you guys, I talk a lot about that I'm not a real fan of cooking. And yet my life, I look at like a big recipe. And what I've done with the ingredients that I have. I also, ironically, talk about my workout classes. And whenever I'm cooking up a new workout, I always call it a recipe. It's just something I've done. And so when I looked back at the podcast, some of the podcasts that I was listening to, like I mentioned earlier, they were on loving myself, getting good sleep, taking responsibility, and taking like ownership of your life. I, of course, wanted someone to swoop in and just fix it. I was fucking exhausted. But I knew then, and I knew now, and I know now that I was the only one. And you listening to this, you're the only one that can do this. And when you take that responsibility, it is so badass. And you will feel so good taking it, no matter what the thing is that you want to have differently in your life. So when I was talking to these two friends this week, they both have different goals and things that they're wanting to work on. And one said she was lacking the confidence to go do this thing. So I said, you know what, start pouring into your brain a little bit, build that confidence muscle up. You know, like I had to do it too. I had to have the confidence to walk in and ask for a job and get a job and do the job and do the job really well and do life like that. I do life as well as I can. And so, and the other one had a situation that I said, she needed answers. And I'm like, ask the questions of the people that you're unsure about. Get your answers. Once you get the answer, at least you know where you stand in someone's life, right? And so when I took that leap a few years back, I had to double down on my mindset. I had to. And I still work on it regularly. And I worked on loving my whole entire life and being grateful for it all, being grateful for every single thing that I've been through and have. And I'm also excited about the future, things that I haven't even achieved yet, but I want to work on those things and it excites me to work on them. Even this podcast, you guys, like we're on episode 46. I sat down on here January 1st, yanked out my computer at the end of a workday, and I was so tired of watching one more person launch a podcast when this was something I wanted to do for years and years. And I kept putting it off. I was waiting for it to be perfect. I was waiting for knowing how to do it. I literally sat down here, hit record, and just went for it. And I have not taken my foot off the gas, and I love doing this. Like I get such a jag out of coming here and hanging out with you guys. And I want this to be a place where you can come and learn and be inspired to make some changes in your life. I don't want you just to hear about what I've done. I'll share what I've done, but I share with you in hopes of giving you a nugget of something that you can take with you and make these changes for yourself in your own life. And I will be transparent. Like, it's not easy. It's not a walk in the park. You're gonna have to put in the work. There was a lot of tears shed, and there still is sometimes, but it's part of the process. And when I look back at what I've been able to change, and I don't know that I like the word manifest. Like I was chatting with a friend tonight and I said, had I known that 5 years ago, today I would be experiencing what I'm experiencing right now in my life. Had I known that 5 years ago, that it's going to take you 5 years and then finally you will have X, Y, and Z, that was hard to hear. It's kind of like when I work with someone on a wellness journey and they might want to have this much change go on in their body. I always take it back to let's just get one workout done at a time, one day at a time, one more workout on the chart, whatever that is. Not, you're going to have 6,000 workouts. Could you imagine how shitty that would feel? Like to be told like that huge number? You know, if I knew, okay, let's just do quick math because I really don't know the exact number. So what's 365 times 5? Okay, 1,825. I was a little off on the 6,000. But if I knew that I had to put in almost 2,000 days of really focused, and I'm still really focused, guys. Like the focus is just shifting and changing right now. It's not like you get somewhere and then you just put your feet up. It's just the journey changes as we go. And I like to have my life loaded. I like to know that my basics are always there. So that when the shit hits the fan, if something comes up, if we all have stuff, if something hasn't hit you, it's gonna hit you. And if it did hit you, it might hit you again, as in life stuff. So I want to be as fit and strong and healthy in all areas, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, socially. I want all those areas. Like I'm filling those baskets all the time. So the ingredients are changing, but how I get creative with them. And there's something pretty badass when you take that responsibility, you guys. I know I talk about it a lot on this show, but it's so true. We're living in this society where everyone wants it now. We want everything now. No people, I was just about to say nobody. People are not wanting to put in the work. They just want it to be fixed now. I was chatting with a friend and she's on post recovery and she's like, I'm on week 12. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I feel like, where did that time go? Like 12 weeks ago, she had a surgery and she says, I finally feel like things are happening, like feeling more normal, quote unquote normal. 12 weeks. And she doesn't take her foot off the gas. She's going to keep doing the physio and the things that she needs to do. And it's just going to change. Her journey will change. Yours will change. It's not like we can just work for so long and then just put our feet up. Like, I don't know how to explain it, guys, any better, but I work in a retirement home and I see that they're still putting in their movement. They're still putting in their mindset work. It's part of life. It's just when you can create these habits and routines and rituals so that they just roll out for you, you start to feel a lot more aligned in what you're wanting to do. And so when I look at, say, confidence and building your life, for me, it took and still takes listening to the things that fuel me. I hope this podcast is that for you guys. Like, I truly hope that this is giving you that little nugget, that little something to think about, something to, challenge you in a way and to give you hope. Like, I really want that. And I believe so hard in you guys. Like, I believe so hard. I really do. Like, when people come into my wellness bubble, I'm like, I believe in you. I know you can do it. And it's because I've seen it. I've seen it happen over and over and over. And then I've also rebuilt myself so many times. So I'm like, it's possible. It's just going to take work. Like, and no one can do it for you. It's been, the last 5 years have been just amazing, especially the last 2 years. Rebuilding absolutely by myself without Casper around has been just incredible. Because I have to say, I leaned on that kid a lot in my couple years in Campbell River. I did. I leaned on him very hard. But you know what? The last 2.5 years now, I've been on my own and it feels so good. And yes, I have a lover, and that is so beautiful. Like, I get to have this experience of love in my life. And I also have all the love that I have for me that I get to bring to the table in that relationship. So it's that part of life came in when I was ready for it. And I needed to have that time alone. I needed to be at that really low to build myself up so that I knew my worth and I know my worth. Because in life, we either just kind of settle, like, it's okay, or we hold back and we don't make any changes. So I'm so excited that I don't settle. I don't settle in any area of my life. And it's a really great feeling, but it's from all of these tools on repeat, regular. Like, I tell my clients, or suggest, I don't tell them, I suggest a lot of listen to this podcast or do this or whatever. And it's because their minds are as important as their muscles. So when we're working on the muscles, there was a lot of years I had a really strong, lean physique and the muscles were all there, but my mindset was not. And it was, I was in a really terrible situation sometimes. And so to now be able to have it all working and working and I'm working and I'm working at it, it is possible. And you're worth it, you guys. Like, you are so worth it. So, like, if you're here and you're needing to make a change, start pouring into yourself. As you pour into yourself, all the other aspects of your life will improve. Your relationships will improve. Your work life will improve. Your confidence will improve. You're gonna go do that thing that you've been holding out on because you're gonna build that spice up inside of you. And it feels so good when you do that. So keep pouring into yourself. I talk about that analogy all the time. Fill your cup, fill your cup, fill your cup. It is not a joke. It's the frickin' truth. If you try to take care of others and your cup is empty, it is impossible to pour from an empty cup. Go try it. You just can't. So it's a lot of a reoccurring theme here, but I just think it's necessary. And sometimes I'm your Wednesday hype girl just to remind you that you are worth it. You are so worth it. And I want you to put those steps in to make your life the best life that you want, because you deserve it. All right, you guys, episode 46 in the books. I would love for you to follow the show, share it with a friend, write a comment. Could you do that? I need some comments in my comment section because I think they take a while to get in because I've tried commenting on others as well. And sometimes it takes a minute for your comment to show up. But please drop us a comment in any of the platforms, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. And we will see you next week on the Big Messy Bun.